We finally have it. Our very first look at The Chosen Season 6. The opening scene is out, and it's giving fans a glimpse into one of the most emotionally charged moments yet. The wait might feel long, with the season arriving in late summer or fall of 2026. But after watching this preview, it's clear this one is going to be bigger, deeper, and more powerful than anything they've done before. The first 6 episodes will drop next year, and then the full-length feature film will follow in 2027. So yeah, the wait might sting a bit, but trust me, what's coming will be worth every second. Let's dive into what's actually going on in this scene, because wow, there's a lot to unpack. This first sneak peek shows us a powerful exchange involving John, Malchus, and Judas. It helps explain how John managed to get inside the temple courtyard during Jesus' questioning. It's an incredibly clever setup that connects back to something the show started building all the way back in Season 5. And even though I can't show the clip directly, that's part of the agreement between the show and Prime Studios, you can definitely go find it through their official live stream. But stay here for a moment, because I'm breaking down everything that happens and why it's so important. The scene takes place in Season 6, Episode 2, which means we've already jumped past some massive events like the betrayal and the arrest of Jesus. Remember how Season 5 ended? That haunting final moment where Judas kisses Jesus on the cheek, the symbol of betrayal that changed everything. That's where Season 6 picks up. Episode 1 will likely cover the immediate fallout of that moment, and Episode 2, the one this clip comes from, moves right into the next phase of the story. Now, here's what's happening. Jesus has already been taken into custody and is being questioned by the high priest Annas. Outside the temple, John waits, anxious, uncertain, desperate to understand what's unfolding inside. Scripture actually gives us a hint about this part. In John 18:15 it says, "Simon Peter and another disciple were following Jesus. Since that disciple was known to the high priest, he went with Jesus into the courtyard of the high priest. That other disciple has long been understood to be John." What The Chosen does brilliantly is fill in that missing context, explaining how John was known to the high priest. The show had already set up in Season 5 that John had befriended Malchus, the servant of Caiaphas. Now that friendship becomes crucial, because it's Malchus who helps John get access into the temple courtyard. In this scene, John asks Malchus what's happening inside. Malchus tells him Jesus is being questioned and that the people now listen to the high priest, not Jesus. He says bluntly, "It's over." You can feel the loss and confusion in his words. But then John, trying to make sense of it all, asks him, "What about your ear?" That question opens one of the most symbolic threads in the Gospels, found in John 18:10. Just hours earlier, during the arrest in Gethsemane, Peter had cut off Malchus's ear in a misguided attempt to defend Jesus. But instead of retaliating, Jesus healed him, right there in the chaos. The Chosen hasn't shown that scene yet, but we'll finally get it in Season 6. You can imagine how emotional it will be to watch that moment play out. So John reminds Malchus of that miracle. "If he can heal your ear," John says, "don't you think he's the Messiah?" Malchus hesitates, his faith and fear at war, and replies, "If he can do that, then he can save himself." That line stings. It captures exactly what so many people struggled to understand in that moment. How could the one who performed miracles allow himself to be taken? The dialogue between them is layered and heartbreaking, and the performances, especially from George Saris as John and Luke Dimian as Judas, are phenomenal. You can feel the tension in every pause and glance. Now here's where things get even more intense. After Malchus leads John toward the temple gates, Judas appears, standing on the other side of the bars. It's the first confrontation between John and Judas since the betrayal, and it's charged with raw emotion. John's anger, Judas's defensiveness, it's electric. Judas says, "Jesus told us to love God with all our heart and with all our mind." John snaps back, "Must be nice to be so certain." That exchange, it's brilliant. John reminds Judas that Jesus spoke more about faith and uncertainty than about being sure of everything. It's a direct challenge to Judas's belief that he fully understood Jesus' mission. The writing here is outstanding, and it ties perfectly into the gospel's core theme, that faith isn't about certainty, it's about trust in the unseen. Then Judas says something haunting. If he is the Messiah, he will strike down his enemies, but if he isn't, then we both know he deserves to be arrested. You can hear the rationalization, the internal conflict that Judas is trapped in. He still doesn't truly understand the kind of kingdom Jesus came to build. He even references that shocking moment in John 18:5-6, when the guards come to arrest Jesus and he answers, "I am he." The power of those words alone knocks the soldiers and even Judas to the ground. The show hinted at that scene last season, but it sounds like we'll get to see it in full this time, and it's going to be unforgettable. Back in the courtyard, John spots Peter nearby. He warns Judas to leave. "You don't want Peter to see you." That moment says everything. The guilt, the broken trust, the impossible tension between all of them. Peter, meanwhile, is wandering around, trying to atone for what happened in the garden, for the violence, for the fear, for running away. You can tell the show is setting up the heartbreak of Peter's denial and the crushing weight of what's to come. From what we can tell, this scene takes place just after Jesus' arrest and during his first questioning, the one before Annas, which later leads to his trials before Caiaphas, Pilate, and Herod. It's early in the process, but you can already feel the storm brewing. The Chosen is showing us not just the events, but the emotional and spiritual unraveling of each disciple. John's growing awareness, Judas's delusion, Peter's desperation. They're all caught between faith and fear. By the end of the scene, John walks off toward Peter. The world around them feels like it's collapsing, and you realize this is only the beginning of what will be the most difficult season yet. Season 6 won't just be emotional, it's going to be devastatingly powerful. So yes, we all want it now. But maybe the reason we have to wait is because the story itself demands it. Because what's coming next isn't just another chapter. It's the moment where everything changes. If this first scene is any indication, The Chosen Season 6 isn't just going to be good. It's going to be transcendent.